Welcome back, TCG Squad. I have another fun budget deck today. Today, we're looking at a budget Boba, but it's all space. So let's get started and see what's it all about. So we're going to go with Boba, and we're going to go with a 30 house red base, right? Pretty straightforward. Our goal is we need to kill our opponent before they kill us. So it's literally dominating the space. And when you can, try to control as much as the ground as you can. So let's go ahead and look at the deck. We have 3 snapshot reflexes, 3 swoop downs, 3 force chokes, 3 cartel spacers, 3 no good to me dead, 3 Rokai gunships, 3 armed to the teeth, 3 surprise strike, 3 mercenary gunship, 3 7th fleet defender, 3 outmaneuver, 3 punishing ones, 3 lurking TIE phantoms, 3 triple dark raid. We're gonna have 3 TIE advance, 3 ruthless raider, and 2 Fetz fire spray. Before everyone gets mad at me, why aren't you playing 3 Fetz fire spray? Yes, you can play 3 Fetz fire spray, but the idea for this deck is to be a budget deck. So with this configuration, we're looking at about a $40 deck. When you add a 3rd Fetz fire spray, you're going to be looking closer to $50 because of the price fluctuations with Fetz fire spray. But yes, if you guys want to swing a little bit more money for a budget deck, you can definitely add a 3rd Fetz fire spray, and then I'll probably more than likely a 1 TIE advance ship. But for sideboard, let's look at the sideboard. We have 3 disabled Fang Fighter. Again, this is mostly against if you're going to play an upgrade deck. This is an easy way to destroy the upgrades. Frozen in Carbonite, easy way to just lock down some units if you need to. Imperial Interceptor. Again, this is more anti-control for space. And then the 1 slot, I honestly don't know what to put in there yet. I want to play around with it, but more than likely just add in a Power Failure. That's the deck. So let's kind of talk about how it works. So the idea behind the deck is that you're going to play your space units, literally just do all the damage you can to your opponent's base while you're using some of your events to help control the ground game. So for example, what do we have here? So we can force choke. We have 3 force chokes that allows you to do 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit. They'll draw a card. So for mostly any character in the game, force choke will kill them. Now, when you start looking at 6+ drops, force choke might not be able to kill them all. Swoop down. This you can attack with the space unit. It gains Saboteur and can attack ground units for this attack. It gets +2 attack and -2 defense. The ideal time to use this one is like if there's a Sentinel unit that you need to get rid of, so that your Boba can go in, maybe do some base damage. That's the time I would like to use this card. Or sometimes if I just need to get rid of a card that looks like it's going to be very threatening, I just want to get rid of this card, get that card pretty quickly. And then we have 2 other kind of events to control the ground. We have No Good to Me Dead. Obviously, we're going to be using No Good to Me Dead against probably every single leader that's deployed. I'm probably going to save this card and use that. And then any large threats, right? Even on the space side and the ground side, you're probably going to No Good to Me Dead them. And then the last piece of kind of control is outmaneuver. You can choose an arena, exhaust each unit in the arena. So since we're all space, we are going to always choose ground. So if your opponent went very wide, this is a great turn to play this, mitigate all damage that could potentially come that round, and then continue pushing with your space units. Now we do have a couple of offensive events. Surprise Strike is bread and butter for cunning decks, right? It gives you +3 on no and attack. So if you drop even like for example the punishing one, we'll talk about this one more, but he's one of my favorite targets to use him. But anything that has 3 attack, I can hit for 6, right? The lurking TIE Phantom, if you have it, it's gonna hit for 7. But yeah, and then lastly we have Triple Dark Raid. It allows you to search the top 7 cards of your deck for a vehicle, and you can play it. It costs 5 less. So guess what? We have all space units. They're all vehicles, so we can use them. Ideally, if you have an extra resource, Your Fet Spy of Prey is probably going to be the best one you can use because you have to. It reduces the cost, but you still have to pay the difference. Fet Spy of Prey comes in ready, and then you can immediately attack. Let's talk about some of the space ships we have. For our turn 1 plays, we have the Cartel Spacer, Roll Tide Gunship, and the Mercenary Gunships. These are 2 resource costs. Ideally, if you can play the Cartel Spacer to an exhaust a unit, that is the route. So like I like to play the Rokai Gunship usually in my turn 1 or the Mercenary Gunship. I kind of hold off on Mercenary Gunship once we get to that resource 4 because they can take it and that can really hinder your attack plan. I like to go Rokai first, Cartel Spacer second if I have that, and then if I have no other 2-drop, I will play the Mercenary Gunship. Your 3-drop ships, you're looking at 7th Fleet Defender, the Punishing One, the Lurking TIE Phantom. Of these 3, it depends on what you're looking at on your opponent's board. I personally like to use Punishing number 1, but if you have a hand where you have a Cartel Spacer that you drew, then I would probably say 7th Fleet Defender first, and then your next turn you can play the Spacer and exhaust one of your opponent's units. And then, like I said, Lurking TIE Phantom is a 2/2, but when you attack, it gets raid 2. I like Punishing 1 more because it has a little bit more health, so it can survive some of those events better. That is our 3 resource package setup. And then for your 4 resources, we have the TIE Advance. When this played, you can give 2 experience tokens to another friendly Imperial unit. So those targets are really your Lurking TIE Phantom, your 7th Fleet Defender, and then that's it. I am thinking about cutting the Mercenary Gunship potentially and bringing the LN TIE Fighters because then you'll have more targets for the TIE Advance. And then our in-game units are going to be Ruthless Raider and Fet's Fire Spray. Ruthless Raider, y'all know, it's a 4/6 attack for 6 resources. And when it's played, it does 2 damage to an enemy base and 2 damage to an enemy unit. So essentially, you can add 4 damage to a base with this guy, plus his attack, which is going to be potentially 8. So that's pretty good. And obviously, Fet's Fire Spray, right? It is 5/6. Because you're playing Boba, it comes in ready. And then he also has that action where you can pay to exhaust a unit too. So it's a great way to control your opponent's ground units if there's going to be something threatening on the board. Now, what I think makes the deck really, really shine is a couple of the upgrades I have. Snapshot Reflexes just gives +1/+1 on one of your units, and this is not limited to ground. This is just it's an upgrade. If you play this on your Punishing One now swings in for 4/5. And then the real good one I love is Arm to the Teeth. And if I play Arm to the Teeth, my target ship I want to play this is on the Punishing One. I've had games where I actually had 2 Arms to the Teeth on Punishing One, and having 2 of these will pretty much win you the game most of the time because your Punishing One's going to be attacking for 7, and then you're buffing another one of your ships for 4. So if let's say you have a Lurking TIE Phantom, right? This gets buffed by 4, so it becomes a 6/2, and then it gets raised, so it comes in for 8. Keep in mind, you could also use the Arm to the Teeth to buff Boba Fett on his deploy state to push in more damage. I do want to highlight Boba. The idea behind Boba, you're going to have to view him more of a control card. The idea is you want to go ahead and attack when you can, and you know you can kill something, that you can ready up 2 resources, and then you can use those 2 resources to continue further your space game or control your opponent. That's ideally how you want to use them. But yeah, that's kind of, in a nutshell, pretty straightforward how the deck works. You want to go ahead and start playing your space units, get some upgrades on them when you can. Ideally, Arm to the Teeth is going to be one of the best upgrades you can with Punishing One. Arm to the Teeth with 7 Fleet Defender because of the shield. Very powerful. Honestly, I haven't got to the point where I needed to use Ruthless Raider with these upgrades. Usually I won pretty quickly. Snapshot Reflexes, I will play this upgrade more than likely on the Cartel Spacer, Rokai Gunships, just so I can go and start swinging. Surprise Strike, even better. If you have Surprise Strike, I like to use Surprise Strike with any of the 3-cost ships. But if you can save one to help finish out a game with the Arm to Teeth upgraded space unit, very good. Also, Surprise Strike, very good with the Fet's Fire Spray, very good for Ruthless Raider. But yeah, that's honestly, in a nutshell, this is a very straightforward deck. The whole goal, again, is to play space units, try to control your opponent's grounds game as much as you can, and just push the damage. If needed, I would also want to point out with the Rokai gunship, if it is defeated, I will always probably use the damage on the base. It's very, very good. Alright guys, so if you really enjoy this deck, go ahead and hit that like button. And I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. That will really help me out. My goal is to create content for new users that we can bring into the Star Wars Unlimited universe. And my whole goal is to design budget decks that can bring any new player easily into the game, because we understand how difficult product is. And I also want to say we're getting close to my 100 subscriber mark. I am going to be doing a giveaway of some of the custom 3D printed deck boxes that I've printed. Once I hit that goal, I'll release a video, and whoever comments on the video, and I'll randomly select it. And you have to be subscribed. If you win, I'm going to be sending 2 deck boxes. Hope you guys get to play this deck. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for your time. Good day. Bye. Peace.